This time Weekend Review is coming to you from Thailand. Here I'm at the Simon Expo here.
Joey's not here. What would he do? I'm a haunted lighthouse. I'm Joey. Woo! Hello everybody and welcome to the Dice Tower and our weekly series, Weekend Review. In this show, we tell you what we've covered this previous week. We give you a little sample of what we thought, and if you're interested by the things we say, you can go back and check out the full video for whatever we are talking about. So let's go ahead and dive right in.
Hey guys, Camila here. This week I took a look at 3 different games. First up was one that didn't quite work for me, that's Kavango, and I came in at a 5. I know others in the office did like it more, but this one just seemed too lucky, too imbalanced. I felt like some of the player special abilities were just better, period. Kind of unbalanced. And then I felt like the scope of decisions was very narrow. You had to focus on one mechanism in order to even be in the running. And I like in games to be able to explore different pathways to victory a little bit more. So I felt like the decision scope was very, very narrow, and it just really didn't work for me. I think the game functioned just fine, but my taste, it was a 5. Next up, I took a look at Sparks. I did enjoy this one. I found it quite cozy, if you will. I came in at an 8 for Sparks. I do love the theme, of course, and I think it's well implemented here. I like the different ways that you can, again, explore kind of your options. You are going to be upgrading your engine as you go by getting special abilities. Lots of opportunities for dice mitigation in this. It has a mechanism which I love, which is you're being involved in other people's turns and kind of a follow action. And this way it's a follow draft. So the first person to go gets the best draft and also gets the most dice. After that, everybody at the table, the other players get to draft 1 die, and that just keeps you involved the entire time, seeing what's rolled, trying to adapt, and I found it to be very, very pleasing. So Sparks, I came in at an 8. But the golden child for me this week was Unconscious Mind, coming from Fantasia Games. This one really spoke to me. It came in at a 9. I love this game. I know we've waited a long time for it, and it did not disappoint. I'm actually, I think in the review I said I'm glad that they took the time to make sure we got the product that they envisioned. I think the production is fantastic. I think the theme is very well implemented, and the decisions, just all the different things that you can piece together for your path to victory are so immersive and fun in this. I think that is a lower player count game for me. I like to play it at 2 or 3 max. That is because it's quite a table hog, and the longer you go, the more you're comboing your actions together on your turn, and so because of that, the turns get longer and more thinky and complex as the game goes. I don't think the game overstays its welcome, but because those the length of your turn does expand as you go through the game, I like to keep it at a lower player count. So that brought it down to a 9 for me, but those are super small quibbles. The actual gameplay is, again, so immersive. Check out the full review, but Unconscious Mind is a 9 for me. I have had a really fun time exploring that. And funny enough, like my rating on that game has done nothing but gone up each time I play. I think probably coming out of the first one, I was like an 8. I had some, issues with the rule book, kind of getting it to the table. It felt a little boggy, but as you get those rules down and really focus on the different ways to strategy, the game just comes alive. So keep at it and keep playing. For me, it sings. All right, that's going to be it for me this week, though. Let's keep going.
Hi, I'm Wendy Yee, and I have 2 games this week. The first is Kavango. Now, I gave this a 7, which is a seal of approval. Kavango is a game where you are conservationists and you're trying to build up your own little reserve for animals, so you need to make sure that you have the proper food chain elements so that you can have bigger and better and stronger and worth more victory point animals. I think this game is a simple drafting game. I like that it's very much that like lighter midweight level, and I enjoy the drafting of it. I think there's some cool actions that you get to gain money different ways. There's some interesting things going on. I feel like it's a little bit between Sushi Go and Seven Wonders. It's kind of that in-between area. There are some issues with the rule book, with some questions that are not clearly answered. There's a couple things with that. But for me, I think the game was overall fun, And so this could have been a higher score maybe, but a 7. I enjoyed it. It's something that I'll play again. The next one on my list is Pirates of Maracaibo, the Commander's expansion. This one I gave an 8.5, which is a seal of excellence. I already love the base game. I think it's fabulous. It's an Alexander Pfister game where you have a lot of different strategy directions you can go in. And so this Commander's expansion just adds a little bit more. It adds kind of a new couple of elements. You've got these forts that you can fight for extra points. It's got little mini games and player powers. And then it also has this idea of cannons, which you use to fight the forts. So it adds a couple more elements, but I don't think it overcomplicates. And it just gives you more directions that you can go in, so you have even more paths to pick from. So 8.5 for that. It's been a good week, good games. Let's go ahead and see who's next.
Hey everybody, I'm Z Garcia. Here's what I reviewed last week. So Tom and I did a bunch of abstracts together, 5 abstracts in one video with scores all the way from 7s all the way down to 3 for one of them. Check out the video. You can see what we thought there. I also reviewed Cavango, which I gave a 4 out of 10 to. I thought it was, it had some issues for me. I thought it felt a little incomplete. It felt a little loose. The mechanisms needed a little tightening up for my taste. And while the game has a lovely theme, there were too many things that I felt hindered it on its way to satisfactory completion. So I gave that one a 4. I also reviewed Rivage, which I gave a 7.5 to. This is a flip and write style game with lovely artwork, a really nicely put together package, but I think the replayability is going to stay somewhat low, and it's a little fiddly with the dry erase of cards that you are marking on and then passing a hand of those. You're going to get a little smudging on the cards. It's just a little tricky to deal with the physical components of it, and then at the end, when you do finish the game, there's going to be a whole lot of dry erase sort of wiping off of components. Still, lovely little game. I really liked it. And then lastly, Sparks, which I also gave a 7.5 to. This one, it feels like a real punchy little optimization and combo-rific kind of game. You're building robots. You're going to be drafting dice and using that. You can assign special abilities to specific parts of your factory board. You are putting out specialists and assistants that give you special abilities. You're going to be scoring off of them. You're going to be scoring off of your robots, moving up on tracks, trying to get special bonuses and whatnot. A few moving parts, but nothing overwhelming. The game's not much of a looker, in my opinion. I wish it looked a little bit better, but I enjoyed what was going on in it. And it's one I certainly recommend if you enjoy dice games with a little bit more going on and you like those combos. This triggers off of that and whatnot. So there you go. That's it for me. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey folks, I am Chris Time, and this time I looked at a couple of games, the first of which was the Pirates of Maracaibo Commander's Expansion. I gave this one an 8. This is a very rock-solid expansion for what I consider to be an excellent game already. I gave this an 8, not an 8.5, because I don't feel like it's necessarily essential, and partly because of the fact that Pirates of Maracaibo is a very robust game, and this elevates the complexity just a little bit past almost what I want Pirates of Maracaibo for, being a simpler version of Maracaibo. And so I think that this expansion is solid. I will play with it if I'm playing with Wendy, because this is one of her favorite games, because the two of us are very familiar with the game already. I feel like if I'm teaching it, though, I would prefer not to, and I wish that the cards were indexed and labeled a little bit better to be able to separate them out. Other than that, very few complaints. Excellent cannons, using them to destroy forts and such. Oh, so good. Next up, Unconscious Mind, I gave a 9. I think that Fantasia did an excellent job. So much of this game is very evocative. It has an elegant art style to it. The fact that it has these two artists, Bosley and Dutray, just mixed together just perfectly, but also the worker placement is great. It feels kind of like it has some of these notes of like Lacerda games that I really enjoy. Lots of interlocking mechanisms, but just more easy to grasp and understand. So yeah, Unconscious Mind a 9, fantastic. And then also we did, Joey and I did a rapid fire roundup, a little less rapids of sorts, but we did cover about 7 games. Those games range from a 3 low up to an 8.5 high. Now, I did mess up one of the rules in King of Tokyo Duel, so keep that in mind. But you also have the main review of King of Tokyo Duel from a few weeks ago that you can go check out to see the thoughts on that. So anyway, that, folks, has been my week.
All right, so I did not review as many games this week. Actually, technically, I reviewed a ton because I did 47 reviews in 15 minutes, which is a lot. But I did take a look at some games I enjoyed. I took a look at Sparks, which is, I wish the graphic design was better and everything, but it's still a nice solid game about building up robots and kind of an engine building game of drafting dice, 7 out of 10. I also took a look at the base set for the new Marvel United Multiverse base set in there, and I of course enjoy Marvel United a lot. This is a very strong, solid base set with a lot of cool things, and now including equipment, an 8.5. Other than that, I also did some party games over the week. I did a lot of different things, and we played some games live, and so there's many different games. Oh, I forgot the stickers. I reviewed stickers this week, a really fun legacy game with my kids. An 8 out of 10, very enjoyable. Alrighty. Well, that's all the stuff that we did. We're coming back to you with more stuff, including a blog where we'll show you what's happening here in Thailand at the CMON Expo. And boy, oh boy, some cool games have just been announced.
And that's going to do it for us this week, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, don't forget to go back and check out some of these videos if our little samples, you found them titillating. And make sure you stick around for all the fun stuff we've got coming up this week. My name is Z Garcia. You've been watching The Dice Tower.
It is recording.
Sorry, Chris.
We'll see you for the rest of this week, and I'm going to do that again.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you, and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Bassel.
Ooh! How does he do this for like 10 minutes every week? Hello, Mr. Lighthouse. I'm Mr. Dice Tower. Woo! I'm Mr. Haunted Lighthouse. Oh, I'm the Dice. Oh. 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 Oh, that's magnetic. I'm learning so many things. This is why Joey does this. Yeah. Ooh. All right, call it. What's the next one? Number 1 through 100. Call it. It was 9. If you said 72, you don't know how dice work.